And I've got a lot on board because I've been doing this a long time, and it's not just in here in London. So probably most places across the UK, I have, artists and producers that I've been supporting all of this time. But they're amazing. So anybody who's listening today, please check out Best in Britain show. You can see, there's interviews with the artists. I did also the Rep Your Ends showcase. I did that last year, and we had a lot of artists come on the Instagram and perform, and we did like a bit of interview and then performance. So I've got that series up as well. But also, if there's anyone out there, or if you are an artist or a producer and you would like global radio play, you would like to be promoted, marketed, be part of events, please send music in to bestinbritainShow@gmail.com. And I look forward to hearing new music, new artists. I love it, playing sick music from the artists. And this is what I can't help but dance.
I know.
When I'm doing the show,
you're all over the place, which is good.
The music I play, I can't help but dance to it. I love what I play, and I'm very particular about what I play as well. I don't push anything negative. All my music is clean. I edit everything, whether you hear me on radio or out somewhere, my music will still be clean.
Okay.
I push artists that are relatable, but without glamorizing a certain lifestyle or promoting, these, because there's a lot of music out there promoting, the scoreboards where they have stabbed someone, and depending on which part of the body it is, they get so many points. We've got lots of beef escalations from certain music that is being put out there.
I was just about to ask you that, actually. I mean, some people are saying that drill music and certain music is making the youth, do crime. Do you believe in that? Or do you think
it's not
that's the case?
Actually what it is, right? So drill music came from Chicago, right? And when it was in Chicago and started there, it destroyed communities, right? And this is facts. Now, there's a guy, Stephen Graham, I don't know if you know him, who, oh my God, he does amazing work, right? But he went to Chicago and he worked with the gangs there and stuff, right?
Okay.
He knows kind of all about this, the drill scene, right? So the drill scenes come here. It is not just that, but that is helping to destroy our communities, right? The record labels are pushing the demise of our community and the killing of our young people, right? There needs to be some kind of quality control going on, right? Within the music, this is something else that, they need to be made accountable. The record labels, the mainstream radio stations. If you listen to what they're promoting, even the school run, it's absolutely shocking.
Yeah, I must admit, I've listened even to Capital Radio. I heard some song and I thought that's a bit,
Yeah, and the thing is, this is people's lives. Do you know what I mean? You've got rappers out here, right, starting beefs in their music, but they're all right because they don't live in the ends anymore. They've got a nice mansion or whatever they've got, but these beefs are spilling into our communities. Our people are getting killed because of all this, right? So at what point is anyone going to take any responsibility? Because so far I'm not seeing anyone taking any responsibility for it.
It's just continuing. But as we're touching on that, when you started Make Noise End Knife Crime, how to protect the youth from violence, and you've got a petition there, Let the Youth Live. How did that all come about? Because I also wanted to touch on that, and then also about those the bleed control cabinets. So how was the Let the Youth Live start first, and then the bleed control cabinets? What was the first one out of those two?
Let the Youth Live or the Bleed Control Cabinets?
Yeah, how did you start the let the youth live first, and then the bleed control cabinets came out after?
Right. So literally, so Let the Youth Live was started. It was something my daughter had come up with the name, right?
Okay.
We had her boyfriend was stabbed around about this time, so around 2017. He survived. A good friend of mine, his grandson he was stabbed and died on New Year's Eve around about that time. And I set up Let the Youth Live with the intention to look at solutions to keeping the youth alive, because it was just, even like back then, we're saying enough is enough, this is so bad, and here we are now, and it's even worse now. But round about that time as well, I was part of Your City Says No. I don't know if you remember that. So Your City Says No to Serious Youth Violence. And connected with 53, and I'm so proud of this actually, 53 towns and cities across the whole of the UK, right? And we all came out on the same day, same time, and we did like a march. Then we had speakers and speaking out. But yeah, we stood up and we said we've had enough, right?
Yeah.
Something's got to change. We did all that, but we didn't get any change, right? We did it though, but I was so amazed that we actually could get 53 towns and cities together to stand up, and also realise that what we've got happening here, everyone's got this in all of their towns, in all of their cities, right? This is not just us, but we're like one of the top worst. So London, Birmingham, Manchester are, oh my God, right? We need serious law change, and we need it ASAP. Right. So sorry, I've lost track of where we go.
I saw that you went to Downing Street as well. A group
Yeah,
of you
so
went.
we do that as well. So where I work with so many different people, because in variety of, there's some organisations, we've got individuals. I work with a lot of bereaved, mums, aunties, nans. I work with anyone who wants, we need change, and we have to get it soon. This year, I prioritised that we've got to get action. We have to, and we've been racking like my brain, and on the podcast that we do as well, the weekly podcast that's on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, where it's live, people can come on the live on Instagram, and we talk solutions and action, right? And we did that. We've been doing that consistently for about a year and a half now, and that's where we've come up with we tried so many things, like we've had people contacting their MPs demanding the bleed control, right? So so how the bleed control comes into everything. So 2017, we're doing the nationwide Your City Says No. We've had the few incidences of my friend losing his grandson. I start looking around, seeing all these videos being posted back then. This was another big, huge problem of the last moments of young people bleeding out on the street, not making it to the hospital, right? We're just seeing these viral videos, right? We got parents who are, the first they hear and see of their child's death is on a viral video. They're not making it to the hospital. Why are they literally bleeding out on the street, right? Why can't we do something? Why are they not making it? So where I was doing the campaign, the nationwide campaign, I came across Lynn Baird from the Daniel Baird Foundation, who had lost her son tragically. He was stabbed once in the chest around 2017 outside a pub, hospital round the corner. He didn't make it.
Oh.
Now, Lynn was like, hang on, why? Like, she got to grips with it. So she's got another son who's a doctor, and she was speaking to him, and he said, well, if that pub had had like a bleed kit or some kind of anything to control the bleed, or a chest seal, which I didn't know this up until I started getting into these kits, was that the chest seal is so important, right? So it's a seal that goes over the hole, say in the chest, because when you breathe in and out, your lungs will collapse if you have an injury there. If you have a chest seal on, it's placed above it, and there's a certain piece of material over the wound, so it allows the breath to only go one way, so it will keep them alive.
Okay.
Now, yeah, so what happened is I ended up contacting Lynn Baird in all this. I could see that that's what she was doing, bleed control. I'd already done a bit of research, and I could see that it didn't seem to be anywhere really that you could, apart from, and I didn't come across Lynn straight away either. I'd come across this other guy. I can't even remember what his name was now. And he called them stab kits. So I messaged him and I said, can you tell me more about these stab kits? Like what's in them, how much they would be, if they can say, if they're saving people's lives, like how can I? Yeah, it was something I thought this is something necessary, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But it turned out his kits had nothing in them. This prompted me to contact Lynn Baird. And say, look, this guy is offering me these kits, like I've found out about you, and you've got kits and stuff. So can you just, break it down for me? So she was like, oh my goodness, no. There was I can't remember. It was just something very minimal. He was asking £1.50 each for the kits, and they were endorsed by, I think, or something.
Okay.
But so anyway, oh my goodness, about her kits. These kits basically weren't around before Lynn, right? We never had any of these kits in the country. She did her own research. Kits were in America, and I think she did a bit of research. She also got in contact with West Midlands, and between them, she bought the kits. She had quite a lot of meetings back and forth with the ambulance service, with a variety of different kits made up. They one that is, the same standard as what they have on board of an ambulance.
Yeah.
And also one that they will log on their system. Now, this is the only kit there is. There is now, further down the line, all these years on, there is other kits dotted place, people do. But the ones on this campaign that we push and we are putting into the communities everywhere, they are fully authorised by the ambulance service. They are equipment. So if that is your family or your friend or your, the right equipment where possible, right? And it needs to be out there. It needs to be law, right? It should be law. We're getting that law in. Okay. Along with defib law, because that's not even in yet. Even though you can see, Tesco's Express, they're brilliant. They're putting defibs in all of theirs, in all of their branches.
And you see, if there are these kits and these kits are around.
Yeah, well, they're all on. If we'll put it this way, you ring 999, all our kits are on there. right? So say you needed one, all you've got to do is ring 99 and they'll go, yeah. But we actually we have window stickers as well for the shops where we put them in. We back up the kits and the cabinets by doing community training as well. Even though the kits are very simple to use, the ambulance service can talk you through what to do, but it's very handy. It's right now out here.
Yeah.
London are very behind.
Okay. So what
Right.
can you explain what we could use then in case that happened and we got into that situation and we needed to help someone?
Right, well, it will be whatever's to hand. Now, the other thing you've got to remember and why it's so important, why because we want the kits out because you know what it's like in an emergency, right? When something happens and you're in the air, so a lot of people freeze. A lot of people don't know what to do. Right? So the ideal thing is we get these kits out. But if not, then something clean that you have, whether it's a T-shirt, whether it's, I mean, even the guy on the train is, even if it was your sock, right? But obviously, that's not what we want to be doing, right? We want these kits on every single street.
Mm-hmm.
We need them. We need at least, put it this way, they need to be 5 minutes apart, right? From where each one is 5 minutes away, right? And the reason that is because people can bleed out in 3 to 5 minutes, right? And it's not just from stabbing, road traffic accidents, right? Workplace accidents, domestic violence, right? You need, right? People need them in their car, right? It's not just, oh, if someone gets stabbed, oh, we can, right? This is a safety matter. And the government, this should already be law, right? They know about these kits. They know, right? They should be law. But until that happens, we need people in the community, right? If you haven't got these kits, you need to get them. And whether that is, I don't know, clubbing up with, with your neighbour, right? This is what happened in Birmingham. People are like putting money together with their neighbours and going, right, my local shop's got one of them, right? Because even this whole campaign, right, of the bleed control, this is like for the big issues that we've got for the young people, right, and what's going on our streets. This isn't let's do this bleed control and then everything's going to be fine. Mm-hmm. No, this is just while we're trying to run out here and we get action, let's try and keep some of our people alive right now. Right now, it's so important. This is people's lives. How many stories are we going to keep reading?
Yeah.
Right? They didn't make it to hospital. They bled on the floor. They bled out, right? The other thing is, do you know when I think people need to know, ambulance services sometimes can't get on a scene for 20 minutes because it has to be like declared safe.
Oh
right, so if you're bleeding to death, if you're actually bleeding out, right, who's actually going to be helping you? So the police would be first on the scene. Now, we've got some police forces. They actually did a rollout at least 3 years ago. It was on the news, the City of London Police, right? And in the first week, they saved someone's life. And they also put some in the City of London, a few bars and clubs as well.
Yeah.
But it didn't really progress. It just stayed the camp. You know what I mean? But we've actually, Highbury and Islington have put quite a few cabinets and kits. I think I'm going to a launch next week in Hackney of more cabinets. The very first cabinet I put into East Dulwich, and that was a year ago. The Peckham cabinet that went in, I've been fighting for a year.
I know. So, I saw that. I couldn't believe it. And you know what? I saw the article when it said the newspaper. When the newspaper seemed to have gotten involved, then they seemed to, be willing.
Yeah. It's a miracle. Yeah.
Oh my God. And I can't believe you tirelessly fought for that.
Yeah. But the thing is that was paid for. That was like that should have been the second Southwark Community Cabinet a year ago, right?
Wow.
I tried to remain calm about it
Yes.
all, right? And focus. So what I did in the meantime, right? Because the other thing that happened, so around about that time, I was told that the council have actually raised load of money for me to actually head a project for Lambeth and Southwark.
Okay.
And yeah, and that is all happening from now, right? So it's taken a year, but thankfully we're here. But luckily, what I decided to do over the last year was just try and raise my own money with help of friends, and also Lynn Baird, who has given me quite a few kits as well to put out into the community. She actually donated the cabinet for East Dulwich for our contribution,
How
Let
much?
the Youth Live, to the community.
How much does a cabinet cost?
Right, the cabinets are £600.
Okay.
They can store up to 4 bleed control kits, but you would get one with the actual cabinet. What's brilliant with the cabinet is they are accessible 24 hours a day, whereas you don't have them in shops. It's only when the shops are open that people can access them.
Yeah.
So ideally, 24-hour shops are really good. So what I did was I've been kind of systematically keeping going, putting the mobile kits into Peckham. So I have put, I think, 4 into Peckham so far, and then the cabinet, but we still need more. I mean, my neighbours, because I'm basically, I'm right on Peckham, East Dulwich, border of Peckham. And even my neighbours here, they're like, no, we need 3 cabinets at least for Peckham. And that was the other thing that was awful this year, right? So waiting to get the cabinet up and also get the money in so that I can start rolling these out and the cabinets into Lambeth and Southwark, right? I mean, Brixton, I can't wait to get into Brixton and start. They haven't got any bleed control.
Got no cabinets in Brixton. Oh
Sorry?
They haven't got no cabinets in Brixton.
Kits. No kits. No, this is what I'm saying. So
oh my goodness.
the list that I've got, right, that I've been putting
Is
in, but look, I haven't got any money.
Is there any? Is there any in Stockwell?
No, there's not any. This is what I'm saying.
Those
there's nothing.
areas, yeah, they do.
Yeah, and like I'm saying, even like I've got £10,000. I've spent some on the few kits that I've got. I think I'm putting some into schools, local schools, colleges, community centres, and local shops for starters. And I'm in the process of doing that right now. We've got 2 cabinets that are going into. I think we've got one for the Brandon estate. And we need them on every estate, every block.
Wow.
Like, what's in place for our young people, our people, like, and the way people are, like, pulling out knives.
I know. It's
right
like,
now.
I mean, I saw some footage, and in broad daylight, and they were running between to this individual, and he knocked on somebody's door, went in their house, and that's how the other person didn't get in. But I could not believe it. It was just like something out of a film.
And this is our reality now.
Yeah.
And this is our kids, right? So a lot of this shit is happening after school time, right? When kids are making their way home, or they're, hanging around with their friends at the local shop, or,
Yeah.
And this stuff is happening. And even in the schools, we had somebody went into Sydenham School a couple of weeks ago with a machete and was going for kids, right? We have to protect our kids, right? The schools, right? Please, anybody that's listening, right? What we've done at Let the Youth Live, right? Because we know everyone's got a lot on their plate, right? More and more and more, like all this cost of living, all the everything, right? So what we've done, we've made simple things that you can do in 30 seconds to a minute, right? That can help make change, right? Things easy for you to get involved, right? So whether it's signing the petition, right? The petition is on that's demanding a COBRA meeting, right? Now, a COBRA meeting with the government, if they call one of them, they've never called that for protecting our youth from violence, right? There's nothing in place that protects our kids from violence. I've done the research. I've looked into the things, right? There's nothing, whether it's social media, nothing is in place to protect them, right? We need an emergency COBRA meeting. When we get that, we can, right? They call it for the weather, right? They've called a COBRA meeting for the weather, right? Let's make them call a COBRA meeting to protect our young people, right? It's not fair what parents are going through, right? Every time when our kids go out and you just, you pray.
You pray right? that they come back. I'll never forget, because things just escalate, very, very quickly. And I mean, it's, I just have to take my hat off to you for you doing all the research and for you putting yourself out there, being an activist. And, I mean, I couldn't believe when I read it took nearly a year to get a cabinet, into Peckham, a whole year. And you had patience, diligence. I probably would have went off my head, but at least you made it. But
that's why I celebrated on the day. I'm like, yeah. Oh my God!
It's not for the faint-hearted. It's and like you said, we need the COBRA meeting. We need more. That's a fact.
Yes.
So what is your local what's your MP like? Is your MP a good MP? Are they helping with what you're doing?
Well. Just for an example, my MP, literally the first email that I wrote, I got a reply after 9 months. And then I'd already sorted what I'd asked about to do with this cabinet. I think because I'd been twice in the newspaper about the cabinet. I was in the newspaper in January as well for the same thing. Yeah. So, but yes. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there.
Yeah, so we're talking about the MP, how long it took for them to get back to you.
Yeah, and then I recently got a reply again, but by this paper and it was getting sorted, but my MP said, I've just spoken to the council and they're saying it's going to happen in 2 weeks. I invited the MP to the launch. She couldn't make it, but in general, what we're finding with the MPs, because we've done a lot of in regards to on the podcast, I've got some who want change, willing to try anything. They've written to their MPs about bleed control, right?
Yeah.
So whether we got a response, what the response was, there's still a lot of people still haven't had a response from their MPs. So, if you've got anything urgent, to get an MP involved, and are they gonna, even if they speak in Parliament about any of the issue, you're looking at years. We haven't got years, right? And the other thing I want to say as well, right, I want to give you some positives as well, right? So there's the VRU, the Violence Reduction Unit, right, who are enabling a lot of our brilliant organisations doing amazing work to actually do these life-saving initiatives, workshops and all these amazing things, right? So there's a lot of money being put into opportunities for the young people, right? There's that I'm really happy with. It's fantastic, right? But our issues, that the other side is, our youth are not safe to go to these activities or go into places because they're getting ambushed on the way, right? They're getting G-checked, even crossing the road, right? We've got kids losing their lives, test riding their cycle round the block, their new bicycle, and just because they live in a certain area, they're getting, right? We have to come together, right?
Yeah.
Put it this way, the people who know, right? I don't even have to break it down to the people that know out there. Right? Whether you think our children are safe out there, right? Because from my perspective, They're not safe in parks. They're not safe. They're not safe in care. This is another thing. Our kids are being preyed on out here, right? We have to protect our children, right? They're being groomed. The things.
Yeah.
I mean, the missing kids. That's another thing. Like, how many more missing kids are we going to see, right? That's all county lines where they're being groomed to go and sell drugs, but it's what they're witnessing when they're there. It's the assaults and the abuse that they have when it is shocking, right? So please, if there's anyone listening out there who wants to make change, wants things to be different, right? Must let the youth live, right? Sign the petitions. We've got a community cabinet GoFundMe that's been going for 2 years, right? If you raise some money to get a bleed control kit for your street, for your local shops, right?
Yeah.
So at least you know something happens, catastrophic blood loss, right? They could be saved. Now we are saving, right?
That's
Every
good.
with
That's
loads,
good.
there's been loads of lives saved. We had a triple, and they were saved. We had a guy who fell off a roof and he had impaled himself and on a spike. His life was saved. A 15-year-old at school at Wolverhampton. And they'd ambushed him outside the school. But that week, a bleed control kit had just been put into the school and they had just got training.
Wow. Yeah. So there's many people. If people go on to Make Noise End Knife Crime and Let the Youth Live, if they go on, you can see the GoFund pages and all the information, so you can help. There are things that you can do.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to find out if there's any bleed kits in my area in the borough of Sutton.
Sutton, I think you got a cabinet not that long ago. A beautiful couple. Oh my God, they raised the fund. I'm sure they put one in Sutton. I'm going to try and I'll dig that out for you and I'll send you the link. Yeah.
Yeah, because
and they
I'd love
also
to
put
know.
one in Croydon.
Okay, and there's one in Croydon. Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So they did amazing, and I mean they're a couple who lost their son many years ago to a stabbing, and this is what we're finding as well. Is a lot of bereaved families, raise fundraising. They're on all these marches, because they don't want people to go through what they forever be going through.
Yeah.
They amaze me, inspire me. But we need people, the community who haven't lost yet to get involved. We are, we're not in that grief. It must be horrific, yeah. And it's not right for parents, and carers. And this has to change. I'm determined we will make change. And then the other thing, so the whole reason everything is like how it is because it's the way it's been set up. This is the system, right? Every part of that system is making what's happening happen now, right? But we can change that system. Even though no one tells you that we can change that system.
Yeah.
And how we do that is we attack each part of the system together, right? Now we've made a start on this, and we are. I'm working with so many people, but there's an amazing group of people in Brighton, all having been groomed and in county lines, right? They are an anonymous group. They're called Pattern Up, right? But they do artwork that is bringing awareness and also hoping to end child exploitation. And they've brought out they've got a petition going as well. So that's up on our page as well. And that is specific to protecting young people from being exploited. Now, this is rife. This is happening to loads of children, and it's not just certain types of children. Or this is it's more vulnerable as well, more vulnerable children affecting them. But there is no actual law in place that is specific to children and what's happening to them, right? So we have to get that, right? At the moment, they're using kind of old law and trying to adapt it, but this is new times.
Yeah, new times. Call for new laws, but it's the youth. It's just so sad what is happening. They're not safe. You've got people trying to groom them and then want them to peddle drugs, and it's a sad state of affairs that. It's really disheartening to your soul,
It's horrible.
It's what I mean. Really horrible. And sometimes I think, there's some people can't have children. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I don't know if people even want to bring children into this world, because I've heard some people say they really don't, because it's a mess.
Yeah. And this is the thing, and it's not looking like it's getting any better. There's just
worse.
More and more added to it. So that's not going to help, is it? You know what I mean? People like families aren't able to eat. You know what I mean?
It's a catalogue of things. Because even I watched it yesterday, and there was I can't remember the lady, some lady from the department. I always say the non-education, and she was saying that they're going into the schools and buying out at the chicken shops. Buying chicken and chips for them and grooming them and getting them to push the drugs. And I just thought, oh my God,
and then they rob them.
Are not safe.
And then the other thing, they rob them, right? But they don't know that they're being robbed by the groomer. And the other thing groomers do, right? They will send them to school, right, with weapons and drugs, knowing that when they get caught, they will be kicked out of school, right? Straight into their hands.
Yeah.
Right? It is when you actually deep and you find out exactly what's going on, right? It's frightening, right? And you know that you would have to try and do something, right? We have to stop exclusions. And I must say, the Violence Reduction Unit, and I went to a conference this year, right? It was the first ever violence reduction conference. I met some amazing people who do exceptional work out there.
Yeah, but you said you went to the conference, and the Violence Reduction Unit is doing really good work. Unity, but there's just so much. There's a lot.
You should join us. Join us on the podcast, and then you'll see, because we have so many people come on, and it's just real talk like we are today.
Yeah.
Solutions. Who wants to get on with this? Where we're kind of at now is because petitions in place. We've got the GoFundMe, but we just need more signatures, more donations into it, but action, right? So drastic action. What will get the government's attention to get this Cobra meeting? Now, obviously, we've got all these oil and sticking themselves, but they're actually affecting normal people when they're doing that, right? I don't want to do that. It's so urgent. We need that Cobra meeting, right? ASAP. So if anyone's listening, you've got any ideas what we can do to get attention, right? We tried the Make Noise End Knife Crime as well. I quickly mentioned about that. Now, my friend came up with that idea, Christella, when we were doing the podcast. And she said, why don't we, right, go on our doorsteps like we clapped for the NHS, right? And we go on our doorstep and we make the much noise as we can make, right? Let's do it for the people, the young people we've lost to knife crime. Let's do it for the ones who are still fighting to stay alive, right? The ones who are trapped in all of this, right? So we've had 2 attempts at this. I'm bringing it back, right?
Oh,
so please,
let me when you are, because we'd like to get involved with Empire Radio as well. So yes,
brilliant, right? So this time, because my neighbours were brilliant, right? I love my neighbours. They all came out, right? They had enough of it, right? And all we
Yeah.
asked the people, I mean, we did it, just come out on your doorstep, couple of minutes, right? Because we know everyone's busy. We know everyone's stressed. We know everyone's got, lots, something like that. Imagine if we got everyone out in
Yeah,
every
I
bloody
think
neighbourhood.
I think we've got to work on this and get everyone out because it is a
Yeah,
big problem. Our children are not
yes,
safe. It's a big issue. We need to come out,
yeah.
and do what we can do.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely going back to it. Right, I've got to get this lot of bleed control kits out that I've actually got here, and then I'm going to buy myself, one of them portable speakers and mics,
Yes.
and I'm starting so I can get everyone out round my way.
Yeah. Well, I will
Uh,
try and do the same where I am, and I'm sure we can
That'd be
all.
wicked.
We've got it. What we're gonna do? We're gonna I'll talk more with you off air about it, but we're gonna
Yeah,
plan it
brilliant.
strategically. Everybody gets out. We'll have need in the papers.
Yeah,
We need to make sure everybody comes out because enough is enough of this. Something needs to
yeah.
be done.
This is
Just,
what I'm saying.
it's
Where I'm at
urgent.
now,
Yeah.
the government, yeah, everything. Put it this way: in 8 to 10 years, things will be definitely a lot better, right? Just leaving what's in place at the moment, if the funding keeps going, right? And I know that this will happen because what the government are actually following, copying what Glasgow did years ago, right? And I've written all about this. I've got a 4-part series, knife crime breakdown, right, that I've done. I did it because it was so long. The guy that I've been working with, Jeff from Force Necessary UK, we made it into 4 parts, and there's actually going to be another one where I break down all about stop and search as well, because there's a big misconception with this. Yeah, there's so much. I definitely haven't got time to break down, everything today. Um,
Yeah. No,
Definitely not, because I can go
you're
like,
gonna have to come back on the show again. But what we're gonna do is, yeah, as you said, you've got to sort the bleed kits out.
yeah,
Because some people don't even know that their bleed kits are out there and they exist and where they're positioned, so
hmm
where they are in your area. And if you can speak to your neighbors and raise some money to get one in your area. So
yeah.
this is what
And
people can
obviously,
do.
if people actually donate to the GoFundMe, because that's been quite a struggle. Like I've been doing that for 2 years. I have raised 385 quid, but we've got a lot of cabinets and kits to get out.
To get out. Yeah.
Um,
So if we can, concentrate with that, but then also when you do the getting everybody out on the doorstep,
yeah,
that when you're doing that, please. Well, before you do that, let me know so that I can
yeah,
keep announcing it on radio, so all of us can
brilliant.
announce it on our radio shows.
Yeah,
We can,
and the
really
main
put it out
thing
there.
is to get like a clip. So what I was doing was, everybody was sending me clips, tagging me in, even in the car. Like it doesn't even have to be out. We had people beeping in their car, right?
Yeah.
But all at the same time.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
what we want, the outcome is, if we do get this to where it needs to get, we're demanding a Cobra. And when we
Yes.
get that Cobra, we've already got what it is down, what needs to change. And we're looking at even down to paedophile law, right? Child killers, right? It, there's so much, but in the Cobra meeting, we can put all that forward, right? And it's all about law change, protecting our children, because they're the most important, and
Yeah. The
they're
children are the
depending on
future.
us. The
Yeah.
youth are depending on us.
Right, yeah. Well, for those who have just joined the show, and we're coming to the end of the interview with DJ Sweetly Official, you can find her on social media. Also, Make Noise and Knife Crime and Let the Youth Live. So if you go into social media, you will find those pages. You can contribute to sign the petitions, contribute to the GoFund page. There are things that we can all do in our community to make people aware and let people know about the bleed kits, because you never know, one day you may need to use them,
Exactly.
Or if you
Yep.
haven't got one, you know what to use instead. Because as you mentioned, if you haven't got one, you know what to use. There are other things that you can use instead.
Hmm. Yeah,
So,
exactly.
but I want to thank you this morning for coming onto the RWK Talk Show. It's been a pleasure to have you. You know, I've been following you for some time. I admire what you do. Also with the hold on. Let me get this right. Oh my goodness, I've forgotten now. It's slipping show. Well,
Best in Britain, so please check them out. I'm sure you love them, everybody.
I know that you know my dear friend, Mr. Official, Mr. Hunt.
Oh yeah, he's a featured artist.
Yes,
He's
I like him
brilliant.
a lot. Known him for years, and I must admit his music is good.
Yeah.
But a lot
Oh,
of
he's sick. Yeah.
yeah, he's really really good. But but I want to thank you. I want to you're doing out there because you've got a lot on your plate. You're a busy lady, and
Yeah.
I just wish you all the best because you're juggling a lot of balls. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, and thank you too, my darling. I feel very privileged today being on. You inspire me too. I think you're amazing for everything. Yeah, thank you for today.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
for your support over the years as well.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, my
Oh,
darling. To working on some of these, like the words.
I am definitely in because I want to see change and the youth are our future. And
Yeah,
it's important. So myself and Empire Radio UK, we will be backing you guys. So it's gonna
thank
be
you.
we're gonna get the word out there and things. I know you've made some headway, but I think we, like you said, we all need to get involved, all of
Yes,
us on radio
yeah,
because on Facebook there's things that we are doing and we can all reach out to each other.
yeah.
So we need to do that. We've got to do it for our community.
It's about community.
Yeah, it's about community.
So,
But thank you very much, Queen
thank you too,
DJ
my darling.
Sweetly.
Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, all right? And
I
thank you
will.
to everybody who's locked in today as well to listen. And please check us out. Let the youth live, all right?
Okay, then
Have a
you
wonderful weekend, everyone.
take care. Thank you very
You
much.
too. Thank you,
Thank
darling.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
So that was DJ, sorry, Sweetly Official there. Lisa Pearson, sorry, also goes by the name DJ Sweetly. Best in Britain show, Make Noise, End Knife Crime, and also you go on social media, look for DJ Sweetly. You will see her page, Make Noise and Knife. You will see out there, you will see it there. But I want to thank her for coming onto the show. I want to thank you all for joining me. Those on Instagram, I'm going to have to say bye to you guys because I'm going to play music. And you know how Instagram are, they will cut me off. So I'm going to play some music now. But I want to thank you for joining me this morning. You can continue listening in on empireradio.org to the rest of the show. But take care, my Instagram people. Love you lots. And hope to see you guys soon. We are going to play some music, and after all DJ Sweetly said, this is the song to play. This is it. This is the track. Here we go.
Yo, like the old saying goes, united we stand, divided we fall. So it's all about you.
Unity.
Unity is the key to success. That's why I'm feeling blessed. Unity is the key to success. That's why I'm feeling blessed. Yo, I'm really living life cause everything's alright. I turn my life around just like